Second and third graders, this is Mr. Allen. I'll be your woods teacher for this next 9 weeks. And we're going to go over a little safety equipment first before we even look at what our projects are going to be. I'm going to get with the parts that you need to build what you're going to build. So let's start with stuff. And shop are safety glasses or goggles. All right, we always want to have those on when working in the shop. Now, whenever we're doing power tools, sanding, drilling, nailing, safety glasses. Always have them. I've got plenty of these sitting around my shop here. Drawers on all of my equipment just about. Usually I'll just put one pair on and keep them on the whole day, and I'll just put the other ones off to the side so they're there, but I always have them really handy. The other items we're going to need is, when I'm running my big saws, I have hearing protection. So I have my headphones. Protect my ears from all the loud noises of the equipment that I use. Or use these little earbuds like this. They work great. The other item that we really need to have, especially if we're cutting or sanding, is a breathing barrier. Now, the ones that we're wearing nowadays because of COVID will not work to keep out the fine sanding dust. Now, sanding dust, and here's a big word for all of you, it's a carcinogen. It will cause inflammation in the lungs, can lead to cancer, has been known to cause cancer. So we want to start the good practices now and wear this whenever we're sanding or we're using a lot of cut wood. That way get dust out of our lungs. All right. So our eye protection whenever we're sanding, along with the breathing barriers. If you're only sanding by hand, you don't need to use your hearing protection. But if you're using a power sander, Mom or Dad have a power sander that they'll let you use, you may want to wear those. For children, sound levels at 75 decibels, and that's how they rate sound and how it works and how loud it is. If you have a lot of loud noise over 75 decibels for a long period of time, it can cause hearing problems eventually. For adults, it's 85 decibels. Now, I've talked to a couple of teachers at the school that have been in the classes with their kids and say have a ringing in their ears. They got it in college because they used to go listen to bands really loud and sit close to the speakers, and now they've got this ringing in their ears, and it will be there for their whole life. So if we start the good practices now by using hearing protection, we won't have that ringing in our ears when we get older. It will protect us. So some of the other things we're probably going to be using in class, at school, they're going to be using a handsaw to cut their boards, to build projects. There are a couple different hammers that we have. We have the ball peen hammer that's more likely, or a small cartridge hammer. All right. Other things that they might do, I have a little tape measure here that they will use to measure the, and probably screwdrivers to put the screws in to hold their projects together. Now, that's a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing, and that's just safety stuff. Now, safety is most important because we use it every day. In everything we do, some type of safety is involved. Whether you're sitting at the table eating dinner, you're using safety because you want to keep this hand away from the hand that has the fork in it because you don't want to stab yourself with it. That's just safety. It's common sense. So safety is it's just common sense. Do what's safe. Always make sure you know what you're doing. Okay? Just like with our tape measure, whenever we're going to cut something, well, we want to measure to know how long we're going to cut it. Well, the rule that we've always had as woodworkers is measure twice, cut once. If you cut it too long, that's easy. You can cut a little more off. But if you cut it too short, it's kind of hard to stretch a board. So we want to make sure we cut it right the first time. So we measure it twice, sometimes 2 or 3 times. We want to double check ourselves before we cut it. That way we know we're going to cut to the right length. Now it happens. Even after you measure it and you go over, you mark it on your wood, you know what your measurement's going to be, all of a sudden you cut it and it's too short. There are ways to make it look like it's not 2 boards, but we won't get into that because that's a whole lot more advanced woodworking than you guys will be doing right now. So for the second graders, you're going to end up having to cut wood and most of your stuff will come home pretty much set up for you. But you're going to be making a birdhouse. Looks like this. All right. So you'll get your wood. It will probably be cut to size. You might have to do a little cutting. You are going to have to get sandpaper, and I might have some sanding blocks that I can send some home yet. We might have to order some more, but that way you can sand your wood before you start screwing it together. And we're going to take our time at doing this, and we're going to sand a little bit every week. Kids at school are going to have to actually cut all their pieces out, so it's going to take them longer. But we'll be working on it as we go. Third graders, I figure you're a little more advanced. You can handle something a little more complicated, so I decided, and like I told the kids at school, they wanted to know what they were making, and they were sitting at picnic tables. I says, well, you're going to make a picnic table. And they look at me, and I go, well, you know, it's one that you're going to be able to put on your back and carry it home. Everybody gets to make their own picnic table. Everybody gets to make their own birdhouse. Well, third graders, here's your picnic table. Mustard and ketchup, salt and pepper in a little table. And you're going to have to screw this together, sand the wood and put it together. Now the wood that you're going to be using is going to be cypress, just the same thing that the birdhouse is made out of. This here happens to be a basswood. When I bought this wood and I put it together, I just didn't like the look of it. So I'm going to upgrade it to a little nicer wood that's going to look a little nicer. And you'll be able to set it on the picnic table. You know, it'll sit up on your picnic table. And you'll have all your condiments right there. Salt, mustard, and ketchup. So Mama really liked that on the picnic table in the backyard. So that's what projects are going to be for the next 9 weeks. So, like I said, you guys at home will probably get some of this done a lot quicker than the kids at school, because most of your stuff is going to be cut for you when you get it home, but you're going to have to sand it. You're going to have to lay it out, and we want to just look at it and put it together, lay it out on the table and look at it and start working from there. Now, hopefully all the wood will be in for me on Tuesday. I don't know, because as of right now, I know it wasn't ordered when I left the school yesterday. So hopefully they get it ordered and I will have it so we can start next week. If not, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. So until then, have a great weekend. Talk to you all later. Bye.